So in your case, what was the challenge for your hero's journey? If you could summarize that in a sentence or two, just to see if you can, because we will speak about this much more in follow-up recordings.
So for me, there is never a hero. For me,
okay.
There is never a point of being good enough to be accepted. So for me, everybody out there is a hero except me. So there is, everybody out there can achieve what I can't achieve.
Right.
And not understanding that they have a different starting point in life. I think that was my first nugget of understanding, that we do have different starting points in life. And that is why we can't ever measure up to somebody else and compare our lives with somebody else.
Everyone is unique.
I'm not even going to go there. Everybody has a different starting point in life that shapes them, that shapes their beliefs, that shapes their lives. And when I understand that my starting point was merely as it is, I think my hero's journey starts when I could say there is no judgment on my starting point in life. Finding acceptance and being in agreement that my starting point was nearly what it is. And the starting point is where I could say I was given life and I took life. And what I do with this life is now mine to take forward.
So the enemy that needed to be conquered was to make peace with your starting point, number one, right? Right. Number two, to not judge others for having different starting points.
Yes.
So the absence of judgment about others' journeys.
Yes.
Right. So with those two in place, then one could proceed on the journey to finding deeper levels of what needs to be conquered in order to finally receive the elixir or the wisdom or the insight to also, like you now do, train the new upcoming heroes in the world.
So the first step that had to be conquered for me was to not judge my parents for the choices they made. Because if you look at it from a religious point of view, and I grew up in a religious point of view, there's a lot of judgment. There is the judgment of the illicit affair. There is the judgment of the thought of the abortion, which is a thought of murder. There is the judgment of the mother not wanting her child. So there's, in me, as the child, there was a lot of judgment. And I will talk more about that judgment. It's not only the judgment that I learned from the religious point of view, but also the judgment of the environment.
Yes, the larger context.
And maybe that is where we're going to find our starting point the next time we talk.
Yes. Thank you. That was so enlightening. There's so many things I discovered in this conversation about you that I didn't know before. Thank you for sharing it.
Thank you for listening. And I think we've got a lot that we can talk about that relates to how we deal with the different aspects through the eyes of the systemic work and the wisdom of the systemic work. So I look forward to our next conversation. Thank you, Leon.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sonia. See you next time.
See you next time.